Yes. So who is making the presentation? Ajay. Okay. So we would like to convey our best wishes to team 2 and 3, youth education care for youth and emotional care for Brahmachari. They are making the second and third presentation. हाँ बस इसको ही करना है आपको. Hmm? Yes. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Stopwatch is here. इसको आप start कर दीजिएगा when you start the presentation. Fine. So keep a watch here, and Sham Guvesh Pro will ring the bell at 15 minutes, then at 18 minutes, then 20 minutes. So once again, please remember the time is important. Now especially since we are now delayed. So please keep the time, do not exceed the time, and keep your explanation short. Don't explain all the points of SWOT analysis. Don't tell long stories. Okay, thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I welcome on the behalf of my team. So we are presenting here devotee care, and we have committee. So first of all, we will know what is devotee care. In ISKCON scenario, we can see that many devotees come in the ISKCON, but because of their need are not fulfilled by the ISKCON society or member of the society, that's why they left movement or left devotee committee. So here are the some missions. What are the devotee? What is the devotee care? So here is a vision statement is there by GBC mandate. So this statement is made by given by GBC only, where all the ISKCON devotee should be cared for their physical, emotional, and intellectual needs. So so that they will be well situated materially, as well as they should be given some spiritual. They should be given on the first priority spiritual education also. So so that they can be successfully go on and seek the guidance for their spirituality and material needs also. So there is a mission also in which these needs are clarified. So what are the need? They should be self-sufficient to care themselves, and also they should be seeking help from the other members of society if they need some guidance or some particular need. So these are the mission statement and uh, vision by GBC. So next, I would like to. So here is a mission statement. Here is a mission so that every Vaishnav and every devotee in the mission, they should have some virtues and some proper conduct that will create some good culture to practice and attract more and more outside people. So this is the mission statement of the yeah. Okay. So we are focusing on the youth aspect of the this devotee care, and particularly in the youth, we are focusing on the key area, that is education. How the education plays very important role to care devotees and sustains and go devotees long. So thank you. I would like to request His Grace Ram going through for go further. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. We are going to speak why, and these are the principles of devotee we are going to discuss. They are loving relationship, positive sense of belonging, and spirited leadership. This, these are the uh, a youth has to imbibe these qualities. And why we are going to discuss what is the importance of youth care? Because there is insufficient in training, and there is lack of individual empowerment and self-interest, and there is a they are not deeply rooted in philosophy. And why youth care is important? Here are some of the quotes. Uh, just like if a devotee, if he is himself, if devotees are taken care, and by seeing the devotees, the other people also they are more inspired to
come into the community, and the existing devotees also they will be happily situated. And these are some of the quotes. Srila Prabhupada also said, like if some devotee leaves, it means that there is a fault with that particular devotee, and there is a fault with seniors also. 50% off of the fault is there. And we can see some of the Shastric examples from scriptures. Here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave like why we have to care and train the youth. From Shastra, we can see Rupa Goswami was trained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. At Varanasi, when he met Rupa Goswami, he trained, uh, he taught the scriptures to Rupa Goswami. And not only Rupa Goswami, when he met Sanatan Goswami at Prayagraj, he also gave spiritual discourse to Sanatan Goswami. And we can see even under Jiva Goswami, Narottam Das, Srinivasa Acharya, and Shamananda Pandit. They were educated under Jiva Goswami, and after their education, and then they were sent for preaching. Just like if a small plant is there, it has to be nurtured and it is fenced properly. If it is not fenced properly, some domestic animals comes and eat. Similarly, if a person who comes into Krishna consciousness, he should be trained properly, and then he has to be sent out for preaching. Then he can be well situated. And why here we can see Prabhupada also says the intelligent youth has to be trained, and they are the future leaders and preachers, and who can preach throughout the world. And this one of the quotes by Roosevelt: we cannot always build future for our youth, but we build our youth for the future. And we can see some of the personal experience, negative experience. In the case of Prabhupada also, when Prabhupada went to Africa for first time, and he stayed there, and the next month his clothes were washed, and it was dried it was dried. And when Prabhupada got up in the morning and he saw, he could not find his dhoti, his uh, kurta, and he could not find. And when he came into temple hall, Prabhupada could see the devotees, they are wearing Prabhupada's kurta and dhoti. These are some of the personal examples. And this is from Prabhupada life. Like personally, one devotee went to some other temple. He is in white and he is entering into the ashram. And the devotee, he stopped. Bro, this is only for Brahmachari inmates. It's not for congregation. Then how can you know that I am a congregation? According to him, Brahmachari means who always wears it. Who is in saffron is a Brahmachari, and who is in white he is a Grihastha. And he didn't allow into the Brahmachari ashram. This he was not properly known. He was not properly known, knowing who is Brahmachari and who is Grihastha. And a personal experience with positive. Some devotees, they came from Bangladesh, and he saw some Brahmachari in the Puri. And immediately he said, "Prove you are so and so on temple." Then he asked, "How do you know that I am so and so on temple? The way you dress and the way you speak, I came to know that you are from so and so on temple." How we behave, and that defines what is our culture and training. Next, who? Ajit, go and prove it.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Now, who is responsible and what is the way to get to this? Provide training and education. So, in our next slides, we'll be giving how we can be achieving by our colleague only. Now, in short, this is related to giving them proper education and training, conducting regular training programs. So we have identified the many places where we can give them and the values can be added. The second, establish the systems and structures. That means we can have some policies to be defined and standards will be there so that regular training can be happened and some standards to be set so that everyone can follow that thing. Either we can have provided quarterly trainings and then seminars can be done so that proper values can be cultivated to the youths and then we will be having surveys also that we can how we can get the results to be achieved to our targets. How I invite Sankarshan Charan Prabhu for the next slides.
Hare Krishna. So this is our vision statement. So we have many youth, like we want all the youth to be practicing spirituality joyfully and morally and culturally refined. We want youth to practice and preach Krishna consciousness joyfully. So we should have proper interactive seminars and proper trainings, all these things like we should have so that youth can practice uh, joyfully. So this is our strategy analysis, SWOT analysis. So strength, already we can see large number of youth in practicing under ISKCON Juhu. So seeing many devotees, many more will be inspired to practice. And also we can see these days there is growing interest in youth for spirituality because of YouTube, all these things. So many youth are practicing, and also we have so many senior devotees are there in ISKCON Juhu, that is added strength. Like coming to weakness, like in Mumbai we have culturally little, uh, not much good cultural background. So because of the modern influence, so we need to give more cultural uh, thing to the youth. Yeah, and opportunities we can explore through more opportunities like CSR and government funding. Like there are government is ready to fund for de-addiction programs. So we should explore for all these programs so that we can do more activities for youth. And threats, like these days, like the the real life is increased, like people are addicted to mobile, YouTube, Instagram and all these things. So it is little challenge to bring them out of this and getting them attached, giving spirituality. Yeah, and this trendy or fake spiritualists, like recently many places many temples in ISKCON facing this issue, like online some famous babajis and all, they are uh, uh, spreading some wrong philosophies, and many youths are getting attracted to this fake spiritualists. So this is one threat. So yeah, so for this we are plan. There are key result areas, like things which we can do uh, for making the youth. Like our vision statement is to make the youth practice and preach Krishna consciousness joyfully. So for this, we should have interactive seminars and workshops like this devotee care, and then we have regularly many seminars like Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, all these DYS and all these seminars we should have for youth so that youth can practice nicely with more conviction and faith, and also conducting retreats and recreational outings like taking youth to Talasari and different places. Like recently, this bus party started. Be a monk for a month, like that. Some things for the youth to get attracted to spirituality. Like many youth are ready to practice spirituality, but if such things are there, it will be an opportunity for them to practice and expanded preaching initiatives. Like for example, we have last few years, this Tarang has been started. So like that, more and more preaching activities expand can be expanded. I'll invite Bhavma and Nitai Prabhu to practice to tell the next.
Hare Krishna. As we saw, our team members, they explained the caring for the youth in terms of education, especially in our organization ISKCON Juhu. We saw devotees are spaced out or they don't have uh, they don't have proper engagement and they have self-interest and lack of unity and poor cultural background. So we set up some goals to how to achieve like quarterly seminars. Yearly we are trying to plan 4 seminars in a year led by senior devotees and annual yatras to get together to know the culture in different places and to explore more and to get morally uplifted and culturally enriched. And for the youth, we know the youth have mind, they, their mind will act very sharply. So we're trying to plan to conduct interactive sessions where they can engage their intellectual ability so that they creatively come up with some new ideas and they can implement, they can increase their spiritual strength. And special classes by senior devotees whenever the special devotees and senior devotees, sannyasis and Prabhupada disciples, whenever they come to Juhu, we invite them specially for giving discourse to the youth. From that also, youth can be enriched and cultured. As per the goals, the the first goal for the key result area is the first one. We are focusing on training. We are planning for monthly seminar workshops by Sundar Chaitanya Prabhu, and hopefully it will start by February 2026. And the next is for conducting inspiring retreats and recreational outings, camps like Utsa and Sanatan Vrinda. Like that, we are planning, and this will hopefully start by January 2026, led by the ICC team, IOF Care Committee team, IOF Core Committee team, sorry. And the next, after training, the youth will be already enriched and empowered. So that next plan is to expand. So expanding preaching mission, like Tarang Festival we did last year, and from last few years we are continuing again, and a very huge response from the youth, and they're signing up and trying to change their life in a devotional way. And next, we are planning in January 2026, and then the coordinators are IIC West Wing. And there are some challenges, like we know the youth are always fickle-minded nowadays. The current generation are always fickle-minded, and they are always prone to be in asat sangha. And for that, we need to come up with a creative engagement for the youth, and so that they will get satisfaction at the heart. And then one more is financial constraint. For that, we are trying to reach out, trying to get help from the government funding and CSR activities. And
evolution of annual goal is to survey from all the youths with a specific ratings in various aspects of youth care. Let's say it's 60% will achieve by the next year, and number of committed youth and their contribution in various with specific measures, and then number of training programs conducted and attendance tracked through the progress graphs at each successive camp level. After conducting every camp, we'll have a survey and we'll make it into graphs and actual. In the same way, for annual yatras also, we'll take the feedback and try to improve, and how the devotees are youth, how they got enriched in the culture, how they explored the different various places, and how they're going to implement in their life. We can take a pledge and we can, from that we can evaluate how the youth are get benefited. Thank you, Hare Krishna. If anybody have any questions.
Hare Krishna. Yes, is the mic? Yes, for some questions, youth care team.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I have a feedback. Uh, question. Yeah, I mean, or else.
Feedback I'll give.
Okay.
You
mean,
can discuss any
The
question.
slide of why. Why?
No feedback. Just question. If you have a question, then ask. Okay, yes. Pass the mic. Valuation.
Like, what is the plan for survey from all the youths? Means like all the youths just wanted to know what is that all the youths. And second one, what is that 150 in the second?
It's a, our Nalli control will explain about this.
Even though there is one habit of within everyone, even though the continuous reminders, requests, follow-ups, we don't do that feedback forms. But many do not fill. So we are targeting at least 60% youth who have attended the programs can fill the forms so that there is the room for or space for improvement. And regarding this 150, based on the count, like generally any camp or yatra we do, it's 200 to 300, not more than that. So at least we are targeting at least 150 youth get committed to the process, because many times it happens like whoever comes, okay, how many will be going to chant 16 rounds? We can see large number of hands raised, but when it comes to the point of commitment, it's very less. So in that we are targeting 150 youth.
Hare Krishna. So can you go back to slides? The Prabhupada quotes. Back. One more back. And the earlier one. Yes. Here the last one I need the reference from where you have taken this. Manual only. Okay.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhuji, I have one question because I see like youth care may already we are implementing all these things, right? So after this youth care plan means what are the real practical things like practical issues in current system and what additional you guys are going to do? So I think that thing is missing here because already see yatra camps and already
Regularity.
okay.
Regularity.
So regulatory is missing.
And there is no proper systematic analysis of the yatra scams which are going to be conducted. And also we are also trying for coming on a single platform where all the youth preachers come to the same platform, working on all the common core value, core principles of the strategy?
Is that training, proper training and education through the various seminars and senior staff.
Hare Krishna. A very nice attempt. My question to you would be, when you're targeting the youth, are you trying to nurture leaders through this youth care program?
Obviously, because the training, once one is trained, ultimately he takes up the responsibility. Without responsibility, there is no use of training. And that one is trained, one is able to take up some responsible service. In that way, it is a leadership.
So in that case, the load on Sundar Chaitanya Prabhu can decrease. Thank
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Okay, give me the pointer. Hare Krishna. So thank you for making this youth care presentation. Yes. Hare Krishna. Request your attention. Yeah, next team needs some time, no problem, to decide who is presenting who. Hold on, just hold on for some time. Yes, so please hear carefully with the next team, because when you are making presentation, it will help you. So we are going back from here. Okay, so this is the vision statement, and though it is common, but still we need to present it properly, because there is a confusion between vision and mission in the beginning. So that should be avoided. This is the vision statement, and one should say, so how do we achieve the vision? By the mission. And the mission is twofold. We want the Vaishnav virtue to spread in every aspect of society. But not just virtue, we want practical implementation in action of the care. So these are two separate aspects. So clearly explain it properly in the right perspective. So this is, after this is, yes, this is fine. Uh, when anyone is presenting this, you should say that the GPC committee, devotee care committee, has identified 12 broad recipients. So we are targeting youth, because we are talking that we are working in line with the vision of GPC. So that establishes that. And therefore, similarly, the GPC devotee care committee identified 12 broad areas, and we are focusing on education. So this is how you should present. So in the last two presentations, still I'm yet to see, although what is simple, still I'm yet to see the clarity of presentation in what. So the why part, yes, why part is fourfold, and yes, these are very well identified. The youth, we want to have them have loving relationships and sense of belonging, and also they are the leaders for tomorrow. So spirited leadership is highlighted. This is well done. Youth care is important. Okay, so this is some of the reasons for the lack of youth care. I'm not sure how the self-interest and uh, applies over here out of the lack of 21 reasons, because I think for as far as the youth preaching is concerned, ISKCON is the good investment as such, and youth preaching is flourishing. So I'm not sure that how this point 2 and 3 are doesn't look like doesn't are not so much fitting over here. Uh, okay, these are okay. Why youth care important? These quotes are good, but they are all generic. There is nothing of about youth. It's about generic devotee care, okay? Human form of life, and this movement should go on. So all the three quotes are generic. If there is a specific quote, that will be better. Next is specific, but even this could be specific. Find one generic quote, one or two generic quote. If they are appropriate, we can talk about that. So usually, yeah, generic is not generic quote is not, I mean, saying inappropriate, but there is some more specific youth, then will be more focused. But you have some specific quotes also. Rupa and Sanatan Goswami joined, they were already ministers as such. Jiva Goswami was a youth, and and their nephew, he was a youth. They were already ministers actually. And then of course Jiva Goswami trained Narottam Das, Srinivasacharya, and Shamananda. And I would say another youth who was empowered youth was Shukdev Goswami by Vyasadeva. And he was actually all the great Rishis Muni sat at his lotus feet and heard, right? And Vyasadeva sent some of his disciples to recite Srimad Bhagavatam to Shukdev Goswami, and by hearing this message, he actually returned back. And so that's another spiritual example. Yes, this is good actually. When you have a big quote, highlight the main point so that immediately, we may not be able to go through entire quote. One can just see what is being highlighted, and so this is a good method of quoting. Highlight a professional quote. This could have been an opening quote. This quote opening in the very beginning. Professional quote, not professional quote. Professional theory. Professional theory means, why is youth care important? That means if youth are, or you say some leaders talking of caring for youth, what will be the benefit to the nation, to the country, to the society? So that is professional theory. But this is a good quote. It could be just an opening quote, a theme quote. We cannot build the future for the youth, but we can build the youth for the future. So it's a good quote, can be used as well. Personal shared experience and negative case study, especially the positive case study. It was said that there was a Brahmachari came from such and such temple, and then seeing his habits, they predicted you are from such temple. So we are talking of, if there is a nice care being given, how can the youth contribute very well if they are nicely cared for? Some youth who have made a great impact. If you can give a case study of some youth from your congregation, like some youth had an exceptional service, or from ISKCON broader congregation, right? Those who were really cared for and they did an exceptional service, they were recognized all over, by the devotee community, by the nation. If you can give such an example, that would be very impactful. So that is expected over here, case study. And then who part is fine. Proper, you expect some training and education and system and structures. Then we come to how part. This is well phrased vision statement. It's good. SWOT analysis is well done, thoughtful. It was explained in a very crisp way by Shankar Charan Prabhu. And then we have the KRAs also well identified. There are seminars, there are retreat, and there are preaching initiatives expanded. These goals actually goals are written here, and then again goal 1, goal 2. There is some mismatch, something which is not fitting in over here. There is some mismatch over here, basically. So we know that these are the 3 KRAs. So for interactive seminars and workshops, so you want to hold quarterly seminars and meetings, monthly meetings. So there is either a repetition, then you put it under the particular KRA. So it will be good to identify, say, goal are smart goals, specific goals. What kind of seminar you want to have? You already say interactive seminars, right? And then you say quarterly seminars. So you have to identify the nature of seminars. What kind of seminar, kind of some suggested topics to be given for the seminar, education in what kind, what kind of education you want to provide, what kind of training, work, spiritual life balance, right? Um, Preaching, training in speaking skills, presentation skills, whatever. You think of few things, and this is seminar on topics like this, is this, a quarterly seminars on this, and then by whom and all that. So, uh, okay, so again, the last one should be under the first, basically, under the first KRA. Okay. So here the topic should be put, basically, what kind of topic, just like this is the topic over here. A special lecture on Prabhupada teaching. And we want to train the youth in Prabhupada's life and teachings. So that comes under goal KRA1. And KRA1, put the KRA, organize interactive seminar and workshop. Full KRA should be put over here. Goals for KRA1, which is organized training, and then what kind of training, and yes, and when you're starting with, and who, not who is conducting the training, who is organizing the training, who is responsible to organize the training. So you write monthly seminars, etc. by Sundar Chaitanya Prabhu, and who is responsible to organize, that should be the name over here. And similarly, right? Similarly, the others, the retreats and that also retreats. How many retreats you plan? Annual, or twice a year, so on and so forth. Okay, so ICCs, IWF core committee, ICC. There is ISKCON Continental Committee also. Okay, anyway, ISKCON core committee. IWF core committee. KRA 3 expanding preaching initiatives. Okay, fine. So the youth needs to be involved in basically expanding. So the festival, just by organizing festival, you say that we ask the youth to organize the festival. They are involved in organizing certain. So then that's how they are involved in preaching. So it should be like more specific. So you remember, S for smart goals is specific. So it needs fine tuning. Then achievement of the goals. So is there some, fine, this is fickle mindedness is one thing. If there are some other, at least for each goal, there can be a challenge. See your goal, what could be a challenge to achieve in each goal? If you have 3 goals, you could have 3 challenges towards the goal, and then uh, contingency plan to overcome. Right? Okay, so financial constraints. Yes, there are always some financial constraints, and you can plan it out. But actually speaking, I want to just point out here that devotee care projects, there are many things which can be done, which doesn't require extensive financing. Actually, so like training people, nurturing them, spending time with devotees, in terms of emotional health care, etc., etc. There could be many initiatives in terms of devotee care which will not require much finances, and with existing resources, many things can be done. So that should not be a constraint in general. So for the goal 3, which is retreats and all that, festival and retreats, fine, festival and retreat. But what I'm saying is, in general, we should start devotee care initiatives in such a way that which doesn't require much investment financially. With the existing resources, we can start with. That is a good start in general. Fine. So we can identify a challenge for each goal and then the contingency plan. And fine, the evaluation is thought, but it could be just rephrased better. But still, it is making sense over here. Okay, so overall, I would say the team has done worked very hard. You all have kept a nice flow. All the 4 parts of the presentation has been nicely covered. The strategic plan is well thought out, and the team members 4 5 team members. Nilankant Prabhu didn't want to come here. He wanted to be just sitting there over there, but he was forced to come in the front. So that the team is a team effort and team participation in making this wonderful effort. And youth preaching is already flourishing, but the Prabhupada would say that we can actually go on improving our services without any limit. Actually, right? So therefore, more and more youth can be empowered, and systematic education, engagement, retreat, and it will make a lot of difference, right, to the ISKCON Juhu, to the overall ISKCON world, and to all the people actually, right, also in general. So thank you for this nice presentation, and hope, wish, and pray that that this youth devotee care presentation um, comes to life. Many more youth empowering initiatives are taken and beneficial for one and all. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll have now the Brahmachari emotional care team. The team member can sit there and just open. Hariputra Prabhu, you can open their presentation. Ready? Ready, na? Okay. Hare Krishna. So I request the devotees to kindly pay attention. ठीक है, होगा? कौन सा ऑडियो? कुछ प्ले करना है? ओह अच्छा. Hare Krishna. Yes. So Hare Krishna. So I request everyone's kind attention. We are starting the third presentation, which is Brahmachari emotional and mental health care. Hare Krishna. Yes, please start.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, what we'll be discussing first will be about devotee care, which is an GBC initiative, and what are the vision and mission of this. We'll be showing this as follow. So, since it is a mandate, I would like to repeat it as it is without paraphrasing. So here we see that what is the vision, or basically what is the ideal, what we want to achieve, is explained very clearly here. Every devotee is spiritually happy and materially well situated. Second point is positively identifying with ISKCON as a caring society. And the third point, it can be summarized as we have all attended the session. So the thing is that first we say that self-care, seek care, and extend care, which is explained very elaborately over here in this thing. And then we'll be moving ahead to the mission, which is how we'll achieve this ideal. So here we can see that to embed the culture of care in the whole society, and as well as to create or provide particular infrastructure or services in order to achieve that, so that we'll be enhancing in multiple ways, which is spiritually, emotionally, physically, and this will be the key areas where the well-being of the ISKCON devotees would be focused on. So to present the next section, I would like to invite His Grace Chaitanya Swarup Prabhu. And the will be first, yes, this is the remaining thing. The 12 recipients which has been recognized by the GBC Devotee Care Committee are will be focusing on the Brahmachari community, and the respective area will be healthcare, mental and emotional. So I would like to call Chaitanya Swarup Prabhu to present the next section.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shukdev Prabhu. So I'll be discussing about why the need of this what we're presenting, brahmachari, emotional and mental health care. So the principles on which we are basing this devotee care is based on Vaishnav Seva and to have loving relationships amongst the brahmacharis who are staying in the ashram, and focused on attentive listening and reciprocation between the brahmacharis and the seniors who guide them, as well as for them to have a positive sense of belonging to the temple where they are serving. So this is establishing the principles as well as the need why we are doing it. So the reasons, out of 21 reasons which we studied, the reasons why this is needed is, as it says here, lack of individual empowerment. That shows how brahmacharis, they don't know their self-interest many a times and their own likings. So to address that issue, as well as many a times sufficient training and education is not given as to how they can develop themselves. So in that aspects, as well as irresponsible follow. Of course, here is irresponsibility talks about how sometimes the brahmacharis or any devotee to that extent, he kind of depends entirely on the Lord for his protection without seeking the care of others. So we'll see a very interesting quote also based on that. From the Shastra, some of the Shastric examples we have taken. There are many Shastric examples. So this one, we discussed also, this shows how Nityanand Prabhu, when he attacked Shivanand Sen in a transcendental way, he kicked Shivanand Sen, and then Srikanta, his nephew, was observing from a distance, and then he feels offended that how come Nityanand Prabhu could do like this. So when he goes to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he doesn't remove his jacket, and that's how you see Govinda kind of reminds him, you should remove your jacket, as a sign of respect. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells him that, okay, he's not in the proper state of mind. Don't instruct him what is right, what is wrong. So in that sense, we kind of give this example of how Mahaprabhu is teaching us how we should think about the emotions of others. And this is Dhruv Maharaj. how Dhruva, he was insulted by his stepmother, and then he received apt guidance from Suniti, his real own mother, and then he goes and meets Narad Muni also. So that kind of guidance in order to keep Dhruva pacified, in that sense we have taken it. And Dhruva was a brahmachari also that time, so that's why. So this is one of the quotes. Of course, this is a very long this thing. Does not directly address, but then it talks about Prabhupada is talking about he's giving an explanation to Chaitanya Shiksha Ashtaka, and he's talking about mind. As I'll just read the relevant thing. As a result, the mind will be dominated by sinful thoughts. So Prabhupada is basically talking about how the mind has to be addressed. We also have so many sessions on mind control and so mind. If the mind is in a good state, then automatically everything else also becomes proper. In Gita also you will find many such slokas. Similarly, here we have very interesting, again based on the mind, mental state. It is not that everyone becomes purified by entering the Ganges. Everything, spiritual and material, depends on one's mental condition. This is from a purport from the 10th canto. So depending on one's mental condition, everything. They also say Vrindavan is a state of mind. So again, mind. So there's a lot of emphasis on mental condition. And as to be more specific, Prabhupada talks about how the brahmacharis, they form the legs of the society, correct? Of the 4 ashramas. So as the leg or the foundation, if that is not taken care of, then the whole building cannot stand, is it not? So it's very important that the mental condition or the mental issues of the brahmacharis are addressed. And therefore, we come to this very nice quote as I was talking. Asking for help reveals strength, not weakness. So it's not that one will feel that, oh, I'm like little, my ego is kind of, or my reputation is going down by asking for help. No, actually asking for help is a sign of intelligence. It reveals that you are strong enough, you're bold enough to accept that you have some limitations. So therefore, we have to, whenever need arises, we have to think about how I can ask for help, from whom I can ask for help. So we have like to share about a negative experience of inadequate devotee care. Few years before I heard this example from one of the devotees. So especially that was the marathon time, and then as in marathon they have a very high fever here, even here also as Juhu. Book distribution, and many times it goes to such an extent that devotees almost for 1 or 2 months, almost 1.5 months, they neglect the morning program, and that's what happened. So the devotees would go out, whole day hard, work hard, very hard for distributing Prabhupada books, and then practically they would have any time for chanting their rounds or even attending Mangalarati or whatever, and then they would come late, have prasadam, etc., etc. And so this happened in that temple, and one of the devotees who was already struggling to distribute books, at the same time his leader was forcing him, pushing him more and more, go, 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 go. And although he had that concern, he was not able to express, and then almost at the end of the marathon, he became so kind of burnt out that he actually left the temple. So that's one of the negative examples. And positive, there have been many here also. I was told by one devotee that how here many 2-3 devotees were there who had a lot of problems, mental conditions, as well as some kind of conditionings, due to which they were not properly able to attend the morning program, as well as to properly kind of render some active services. But although despite of that, they were accommodated. And then since long time, almost 30, 40 years, they have been serving in the temple. So that has been a very good example to actually understand how if devotees are taken care of, I mean, with proper permission and then proper guidance, how they can continue and serve, continue as a brahmachari and serve in the ashram. So then I'll invite Dayaram Prabhu to talk about who are the recipients of this devotee.
Hare Krishna. So this is one of the very important aspect I will briefly talk about. That what are the different attributes? These are some of the attributes that we look forward in our leadership. The leadership can be at the different hierarchy levels, but these are some of them. One of the most important is listening well. So we expect that our leadership they are accessible, and at the same time they are transparent, and they maintain the confidentiality of the dependents who are coming to them to express their issues. And combining to the first point, I mean the second point is also very important. Like that, providing training and education. It's not just for the brahmacharis, but also for the leaders who are taking care of the brahmacharis. That they should go through different courses and trainings, so that they can take care and they are able to process properly the issues that comes to them through the brahmacharis or the devotees who are dependent on them. And third thing, which is often neglected, is that many times we see that the leadership more focused on the youths that are coming, the issues that they are facing, but not those on those brahmacharis or devotees who have spent a lot of time in the movement, like they spent 15, 20 years. So we try to neglect their emotional well-beings. So that is very important that the leadership should also take care of those devotees. And the last one is that we should, the leadership should also nurture self-care and self-reliance. So they should, specifically, they should create some environment where the brahmacharis are actually feeling secured and they are able to cultivate some habits, good habits, so that they can take care of themselves emotionally and spiritually and other factors. And also they are empowered by the leadership so that they can take initiatives in their respective service areas. So for the next slides, I would like to invite his guest, Narottam Krishna Guru.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, seeing till now the various leaders' roles and obligations, we churned out a lot of time upon defining the vision statement. That is, Shri Sri Radha Raj Bihari Ji's brahmacharis are emotionally content, spiritually fulfilled, and joyfully engaged in their loving service. So, focusing on three things basically: emotionally content, spiritually fulfilled, and joyfully engaged. So, of course, we spend quite time on taking out this SWOT analysis, where we brought out this point. So, we have the strength in our temple that management is supportive for our doing any activities for the brahmachari, taking for the care of the brahmacharis. Then there is the availability of so many senior devotees and senior guidance. And there are opportunities how we can collaborate with some mental health and wellness experts also from outside of organization. But there then some weakness, like there is some lack of self initiative from the self, from one own self. There is some lackness is there, and there is limited counseling system which is not well developed till now. And the threats are somebody got involved in some practices or somebody found out. So there is a threat that there may be allegation of misconduct upon him, which may go into the medias, and then technological distractions which are well known in social media. So moving ahead. So based upon this SWOT analysis, we jotted on three key result areas. But one main thing I want to bring at this point, the key areas which we are going to discuss now, it is not that there are some hypothetical or some things which are just jotted down now, but there are already going to work after 6 or 8 months by the BSc Brahmachari Ashram Council, and this thing already led by mental emotional health, already led by his Hemgiri Prabhuji. So the things which are the areas which are included and the things which we are going to discuss now, they are going to be implemented after 6 or 8 months. So they are not just you see, he already thought of, just now more structured and planned and organized, and well, it will happen. So three key areas which are thought of is well established mentor system, and some meetings establishment also happened upon that previously. So we tried to make it well more organized. Second is integrity, conduct, and safeguarding a culture. And the third is emotional wellness and counseling system development. So let us go one by one. So the goal for the KRA1, well-established mentor system. So we thought of making a group of like-minded devotees, where a mentee has a mentor-mentee system, where a mentee has a freedom to select a mentor, and they can in the group where they have same goals, or not same goals but same likings. And then so mentor whose qualifications already predefined. So of course I have not mentioned anything about the mentors training because this is already done. And then second point is about there is one floor invigilator, because our ashram is floor wise upon the seniority levels. So there will floor invigilators, and this who is more mature than the mentors, and the mentors who are heading the mentees, they'll be reporting to floor invigilator. And then monthly meet between mentor and mentee, and mentors and floor invigilators. So there are two levels: floor invigilators, then mentors, then mentees. So meeting between both levels. And then of course it's about the inside thing, how to bring out where they can get a platform to express their problems or emotions. But there is something which is going outside also, going out and developing some relations among the Vaishnavas. So their retreats outside of Bombay, especially outside of Bombay, which is told by the devotees, especially Sangubeshpuri. And they're like age-based groups, 30 to 35 members, once in 4 months. Yeah. Okay. And this is a goal for KRA2. Integrate the code of conduct, introducing code of conduct and impartial and safeguarding policies by the committee. And this annual training on appropriate behavior and ethical standards. So this will be like 6 months based trainings. Then goal for KRA3, emotional wellness and counseling system development, inviting senior members once in 3 months who is outside of this community, because sometimes it happens that brahmacharis may not able to express the mentors or the floor invigilators, but they can express somebody who's from outside who cannot judge us. So that's why this point is very crucial. So the problems or challenges we are going to face in this is maybe because a lot of busy schedules, meeting may not happen, unavailability of invigilators and the mentors or the mentees. And the plan is that there should be always reporting. In spite of meeting, there should be always reporting whatever meeting happened from the mentor side also, and from the floor invigilator side also. Then schedule of devotees may not match for the retreats, very big thing. So maybe 2-3 groups can combine at the that time. Then third is ineffective implementation of counseling system. So there is a review based system based at the period of 3 months. And then reluctance of expresses issues. Maybe the mentee may not express his whole issues to the mentor, or the mentors may not gel with the flow invigilators. So there should be a chance that he can change the mentors. And if the floor mentor is not able to express his problems to the floor invigilator, he can directly go to the BSc chairman. And these are the evaluation of the annual goals. So some things are maybe approximate and some things are just kept like that. Number of counseling and reporting sessions held group wise during the year, 65%, 8 out of 12 meeting happens, in which there was 70 plus participation. Next year, we want to increase counseling session participation by counseling and participation by 10 to 15%. Number of retreats conducted, participation was 50 plus percent, and number of retreats conducted was 50 plus percent, and participation was 67%, 63%. and it was rated 3 out of 5, 3.5 out of 5, but we want to increase next year to 15%. And there's anonymous feedback taken. So number of concern raised and addressed effectively rated 3 out of 5. So that was from our side. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
My question was, Prabhu, when you're referring to counselors, where you refer to a lot of places, I assume you're referring to other devotees who are senior and who can, I think, guide, right? Is that the counselors we refer?
Yes, Mataji. Means the most mature devotee will be like the floor regulators, and then below that will be mentors. Maybe Hemdari Prabhu have already made the system. He can express more, clear it more. Means that only mentors. Okay.
Yeah.
So mentor is as like counselor.
Yeah. So I think my this also because we have questions, concerns, is also that there could be some cases or some situations where even somebody who is senior may not be able to address some concerns, not because they are not capable, but some concerns can also be clinical. They can require professional help. So I think even that can be taken into account because this is emotional and mental support. And when it is beyond the what do you say? I wouldn't say capacity, but sometimes the nature of the situation is such that some devotees could be having a personality issue, a disorder, or something like that, which actually requires professional medical help or support. So then, what they require is like a professional counselor or that kind of help. I'm sure that's getting done, but I'm just saying that, like sometimes we use the term mentors and counselors, but mentors are more like devotees who are very senior and who can offer support. And in the general world, people understand counseling as counselors, like psychologists or something like that.
Yeah, that's Hare Krishna. Thanks for your concern. Yeah, it's true. That's why nowadays more this terms we are using like mentors and mentees. That's more better. And counselors, when generally counselors means professional counselors, what we mean. And as you have addressed the issue well, that whenever there is such problems comes up in the ashram, then definitely we do seek help, professional help. We do. Any other questions?
In this in SWOT analysis, there is supportive management. If the supportive management is there, then they might already have uh, the special system is made already. The devotees are addressed, whatever the needs are there. It is, if it is there, strength, it might be already done.
Certain things are certain things are there because our temple is not a new temple, you know. So Robert's time. So yes, but it's all but it's an ongoing development because certain needs, certain problems come up, certain issues come up. So certain uh, things need to be implemented in a better way. So there is always a room for improvement. The management is very much open for the room of improvement.
Okay, that's good. Someone else wants to ask something? Okay, fine, good. So, yes, so this is emotional healthcare for brahmacharis. Yeah, it's also a very important topic. Emotional healthcare has been identified as the topmost area of healthcare here. 82, you see, emotional healthcare overall in ISKCON. So emotional healthcare, this area, because of the kind of lifestyle, very fast lifestyle, digital lifestyle people are living, uh, the minds, become sick. The mind become very sick and the emotions are disturbed. So these illnesses are at great rise actually in this world. Uh, in some of the welfare countries, they give free medical services, physical and mental. Right? There are psychologists, psychiatrists, they give free services. And for that, there is sometime 1 year waiting queue. If you apply that, I need some psychological help. And there's a welfare country free, so there's a queue. You get your number after 1 year. And there are so much rise nowadays, these problems. They don't have so many trained psychologists, or of course there is a cost involved also. So like that, but just to give an example, and then they have to go to private psychological treatment, and that's very costly. So this is topic is very relevant uh, amongst everyone actually, so including the brahmacharis. Because feeling of loneliness, feeling of hopelessness, and so on and so forth. So just remind me. I'll give one nice case study of this. Remind me of a case study. I just write here. Okay. So yes. So we'll just go through the presentation quickly here. Um, Shukdev Prabhu nicely paraphrased, or he said, I would like to read instead of paraphrasing. That's good. But he didn't have, he was not just looking at. In case even if you want to repeat, look at the audience. You should be able to read while looking at the audience. And means a part of it should be memorized at least. So, good, in a nice way, Shukdev Prabhu explained the what of devotee care in vision and mission. And but he kind of little bit, he thought that is over what, but there were 4 slides for what. This is also under what? 12 areas and the recipient. You have to be reminded, don't come back, stay back. Complete the. So therefore, yes. So again, there are 12 broad recipients identified by the GPC committee, and we are focusing on. So this part needs to be properly explained and covered. Uh, okay, so the what has been then we start with the why, which is been taken by Chaitanya Sarup Prabhu. He nicely explained the principles uh, for emotional health care of youth. Yes, so these principles are quite valid, and the reasons for lack also were properly explained. The Shastra, the emotional care of Shrikant Sen and our Bal Brahmachari Dhruva, empowered, uh, take care of the emotions. Further, we have another Shastri quote, and it said, read this statement, other is the mind will be dominated by sinful thoughts. And I have not read this word before. And atheistic attitude. Okay, and atheistic attitude. I thought it was okay. So I think many places the space is missing. So and atheistic attitude, fine. So this is the yeah, this is a good quote. And yes, the scripture says sometimes the mind is like, again this is the statement and another scripture statement I'm supporting that the mind is like a hook. Even if for 1,000 years it remains in the Ganges, it remains crooked. It keeps suspending the dose of fishing. They put a hook. Mind remain like a still remain like a crooked. So mind is difficult overall also. But yes, it's important to take care of the mind. There are several statements, including this one is also a good statement selected for the mind. This is a good quote, a nice professional saying that if someone needs help, actually, this is very important because Prabhupada writes in one place, actually, anyone may feel dejected, disappointed, even depressed. If a physical body becomes sick, mind can become sick. And then Prabhupada wrote to one devotee that you are sick in mind doesn't mean you are spiritually not well. Like if someone becomes physically sick, then you say, oh, this person is not chanting well. That's why he will become sick. You don't say right. You don't say like that, right? This person is not doing proper sadhana, therefore he has become physically sick. You don't say it because anyone can become physically sick. It doesn't have much correlation with one's spiritual practice. Similarly, Prabhupada says, if the mind has become sick, don't think a person is spiritually weak. A person could be good spiritual standing, still the mind may become sick and depressed. And therefore, Prabhupada wrote, just treat the mind. Take, take help, treat the mind, and again become strong and be strongly situated. You're materially well situated. Mind is also material element. So materially well situated and continue to practice spiritual life. So therefore, in a society of devotees, if some devotee is taking psychological help, psychotherapy help, we feel क्या सोचेंगे अरे इतना senior devotee है. No, anyone can become sick. The mind can become sick. So don't attach any stigma to it for yourself or for others. Whenever the help is required, take the help. Asking for help is to win strength, not weakness. Because it requires humility to say, I need help. And that is the strength. So this statement is very important statement. The case study I would like to just quickly give over here. Sanatan Goswami felt disappointed, dejected because of his bodily skin disease. To the extent he contemplated suicide. That, oh, there is no purpose of my living. I cannot serve, so on and so forth. And Lord Chaitanya had to reinstate the purpose of his life. No, your body is my property. I'll achieve so much through your body. So even the person at the level of Sanatan Goswami can become depressed, disappointed and depressed to contemplate suicide. And then Lord Chaitanya said, no, you will do so much service for me. And then he was alive. So it's a very important aspect of care. Mind is a powerful element. It could become sick. And we can take help and proceed ahead. Okay, so yes, personal shared experience, the negative and positive case study has been covered well. And then the who part also well covered by Dayaram Prabhu. Dayaram Prabhu covered that part quite well. And then, okay, in the slides, you are also adding who is going to cover, right? That's good addition over here. Anuttama Prabhu covered the how part, Anuttama Krishna Prabhu. The vision statement is very well done. The SWOT analysis is clear and crisp. Uh, and then we have the 3 KRAs, mentorship system. Again, you see there is a word of mentorship system. And here counseling system development. Is it referring to mentorship? Outsider, the professional counselor, right? Emotional wellness and counseling system development. So fine. And you in the goal also you have something about professional counseling. Let's see. So this is the mentorship system and integrity, conduct, and safeguarding culture. Many of you use AI terms. I've seen in your presentation. You put something and then get some terms through the AI. And when I ask, explain the meaning, and you're stuck at times. So anyway, be careful about the AI thing. Sometimes it's just vague and not that clear. So better to use some simple, clear terms which you have the idea of, and not like something impressive. Okay, so uh, we are talking of area we want to work on is integrity, conduct, and safeguarding culture. Okay, so it could be area could be over here that healthy culture. That's the area, and then you can talk of healthy culture means brahmacharis have integrity, they have good conduct, and they feel secure, something like that. So that it can be improved over here. And then you want to develop counseling, professional counseling, emotional wellness. Okay, let's go to the goals then here. Okay, so you make a group of like-minded devotees and finding suitable devotee among them. Okay, mentor-mentor relationship, explore invigilator, 2 levels. That's fine. Uh, code of conduct and impartial safeguarding policy. Uh, uh, Again, this is all through AI, seems like impartial safeguarding policy. Okay. Um, okay. So then annual training on appropriate behavior ethical standards. Okay. So fine. So there is some training and some code of conduct identified over here in, and inviting senior members. Now here, what senior members? Mainly at times we don't have community people who are professionally such trained counselors. Usually we don't have. So you have it, some people who are. Take the mic. So you're outside of community, you're saying. So senior members mean what here? The counselor should
Actually, this is if I have to seek a help,
Huh.
I will go outside. That word is not mentioned there.
Huh.
And the community needs some help.
Huh.
Because some many students are there who want to express, but they cannot express to the mentor or the floor invigilator.
Huh.
So this member is from the community, but from beyond our organization.
He is the devotee,
From
but
ISKCON,
from outside.
From ISKCON, but
Okay,
from
from
beyond.
outside of ISKCON
So
Juhu
there will be
community.
no non-judgmental. He'll
Okay.
non-judgmental.
Okay, so make it specific over here that you want to invite some senior professional devotee counselors from outside of ISKCON Juhu community to visit, something like that. Huh? So it should be specific. The way it should be written should be more clear and not vague. Fine. So the thought process is good over here. At times, okay, this is fine. If there is such a devotee who is at that level, if the devotees are not available, even take well-wisher who are professional. Many times it is better to refer to a more competent person than to just a devotee who can understand. Because I remember I referred one case to a devotee professional, one psychological case, to please help this case. And they studied and said, actually, I want to refer to my senior who is a greater professional. This is a complicated case. Even I cannot handle. This is a devotee professional. But again, referral, you remember the referral? That person realized that this is complicated case. I want to refer to my senior who is super specialized in this area. So like that. So even they know the limitation and do the referral. So therefore, more important than devotional qualification is who is expert in handling such cases. Yes.
Means we thought of that point also, but only thing is within the Tamil provinces that is not appreciative or maybe not possible.
Okay, no, but basically we propose, we understand, and then it's all we are all learning thing. What I'm saying is, even the devotee professional referred it to a non-devotee expert professional. So this is nowadays that is being basically just like it is said that if you are going to have your heart operated, some devotee has just graduated. Yeah? Would you like to be the first operated by a person who has just graduated first operation, or someone who has 20 years of experience? Anyone will go for a surgeon who is actually expert and doing. So therefore that is important over here because it's a surgery to be performed. So more than devotional qualification, it is their professional qualification which matters more here. So basically, if we understand, then we can explain. Okay, so we let's find there are several challenges that have been identified. Uh, One thing is that you say we can schedule of all devotees may not match each other riding second and merge 2 3 groups, or it could be that announce the schedule for retreat well in advance and ask devotee to save the date. So advanced planning helps a lot always. So that's another contingency plan. Okay. Okay. Yes. So nowadays, uh, actually, I'm telling you because people plan yearly calendar, hai? Yearly calendar. So uh, this is very common. So pe- uh, for next year, you already planned the devotee care training, teachers training, etc. Certain training up to November 2026. Up to November 2026, certain dates have been fixed. That's how in advance people pre-plan nowadays. Advance people pre-plan, and even our dates for Govardhan Eco Village, those who come for certain retreats, yoga retreats, etc., etc., they are booked 1 year in advance. They booked 1 year in advance. So people do a lot of pre-planning nowadays. So pre-planning always helps. So yes, and then we can get the dates from mentors, seniors. Help. We are doing such a pre-planning, so please block the dates and don't give those dates to anyone else. Okay, so uh, yearly calendar we make for the temples nowadays. Every institute, every even temples, they're coming with the yearly calendar plan. Put the festivals first, to avoid all the clashes. Put the important festivals, the celebrations you have, block those dates, and then other important events, etc., etc. Okay, so but fine. This is overall well identified the challenges and the plan, and then evaluation of the goals. Uh, Fine. At least we are putting some figures and trying to evaluate how effective we are achieving over here in terms of participation and the rating. Okay, good. So only targeting 3.5 rating out of 5. We're not saying 4.5, 4.95, etc. So realizable ratings. Okay, good. So overall, I would say another very important and well thought out of plan for the emotional health care, which is the increasing need at this point of time, and we should educate people to. Huh? Okay, here. Copy paste error. इन्होंने ये दिखाया नहीं स्लाइड मैंने यहाँ से आगे कर दिया ठीक है एकदम लास्ट है कोई बात नहीं ओके फाइन सो we need to do a lot of education also, especially that admitting one's needs is not weakness, it is strength. That education is needed among all the brahmacharis community. Take timely help and remain strong. The mind is the main element actually. Mind is the main element. Mind can overcome physical limitation. Or even a person is physically very strong, mind can make that person very sick and very weak. So therefore, mind is the main element, and therefore, Krishna also says, "One who controls the mind, one who wins the mind, he wins the battle. Actually, against he wins the war. The battle against the Maya is won. The mind is won. Jitatmanaha prashantasya paramatma samahita. This is one who wins the mind. Actually, he conquers the Lord. One who controls the mind, the Lord is achieved. So in this way, the emotional health care is a very important aspect, and therefore, I wish that this team continues to enhance the emotional health care of the brahmacharis, and um, the brahmacharis will continue to inspire the congregation and further the mission of Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So loud applause. Okay, so we have a yes, it's 4:35 in my watch. 4:35. 4:50 will be the next presentation. So please, the team be ready. The fourth team, Grasta Emotional Healthcare. Uh, please to Hariputra Prabhu immediately or within the next 5-10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, please send the PPT and the fifth team also. So there is a tea break. Immediately after the tea break, there will be next two presentations. But we can only. Oh, okay, you forgot.